Welcome to Creative Tien channel. Today we want to talk about color knitting pattern design with online software called Stitchfiddle. Here is a hand draft sketch of the pattern, and here is what I make with the Stitchfiddle software. So how do I do that? It's very easy. I found this software online and it's free for the basic version. You can see the Christmas tree pattern I made last time. I will make a new one by clicking the +1, pick knitting, and I pick color design for this chart. And next, I start from an empty chart and decide the row and stitch count. I add more column and rows because I want to see the whole picture. You can also add or minus rows and columns later. And you will show the grid of the column and the row numbers you select. And back to my little chart, that's the basis I want to try to see how it looks like. So I pick a color from the left side and start clicking on the empty boxes, and they start creating the design. If you make a mistake, you can click on top with a different color. I leave 2 rows empty and start my next pattern, repeat, and I will fill up all the empty boxes in between with that second color. And I'm fast forwarding a little bit here. It gives you a better idea of what the pattern will look like in the bigger pieces. Now we can use the first color or pick a third color for this pattern and leave 2 rows of empty space as before. In the next repeat, I want to have 1 rows in between patterns instead of 2 rows. So there will be 1 row of empty space and then start a repeat pattern. Now you can see the 2 colors are more dense together. And I will repeat 1 more time to see how it looks like. If you want to add a color you don't see on the grid on the left side, you can press the +1 button below those colors and you can pick any color you like. You can build your own color palette this way. In the next repeat, I don't want to have any rows in between the patterns, so I start the pattern right after the last row. And I'm using the new color I just selected. And then I will do it again without leaving any rows between the patterns. Now I'm at the top of the chart. You can add more rows or columns if you like. You can just right click the mouse and there will be a box coming out and give you all the options. And you can add or delete rows or columns. Now I'm going to add 1 row and finish up my yellow repeat. If you made mistake, you can place your cursor on that certain row and right click so you can delete that row and continue your charting. There is a pen icon on the top. You can set up your file name and choose a folder from there. You can look through all different buttons on the top for different functions. The third button from the right is drawing lines. We are going to use it to outline our stitch patterns we just created. First, I add a black color in the color palette so it's easier to see. And I click on that third button and start drawing lines. I outlined the section with the repeat stitches. The first box has 2 blank rows, and the second one has 1 row of the blank stitches, and the third one on the top has no blank rows in between the patterns. You can see they create different visual patterns, and you can experiment with different variations easily with this software. The last thing to do is to download the chart. You can find the symbols on the top. With the free version, you can only save as the PNG file. If you want different file, you can pay for the software. I think PNG file is good enough for most use. And after you download it, this is how it looks like after I open the download. And if you go back to the website, under my files, you can see your new files. I really like this software because it makes the knitting chart so easy to make. And I hope you enjoyed this video too. Thank you for watching.